Alright, this video I want to talk about the fall of Usain Bolt. I am, a supporter, a fan of Usain Bolt, and I liked watching him, run. I think he has a interesting and charismatic energy within him that made, you know, track and field, specifically the 100-meter run or dash, very exciting. And recently I saw, that he lost to Justin Gatlin, and then he ended up getting injured at the 400 relay, and he couldn't even complete the race. And I just saw some of the comments left by some of the people and what they're saying. There's people that really supported him, but then there's people that were, talking trash about him, saying that he faked the injury and, that he's not good anymore. And it just got me to reflect about the limitations of the body and how, these athletes, these track and field runners, they can only sustain, this optimum peak level of performance for, a relatively short period of time. It's a matter of time that they're going to slow down and their bodies are going to get injured and they're going to get old, and eventually their bodies are going to, they're going to die. And every single athlete goes through this, every single human being goes through this, and it's just a repetitive cycle. And there's just too many limitations in the body. And it also gets me to think about, what do I want to represent within what I do? I just don't want to be considered just an athlete. You see, when you're doing well, the whole world loves you. When you start getting old, when you start slowing down, people start talking trash about you. People don't pay you attention. They just go on to the next young person or next athletic person. They get their short time of fame, and then on goes to the next person. And it's not eternal. This momentary level of fame and, recognition and respect, it only lasts for a short time, and then it passes. Seeing the rise and fall of Mike Tyson, the rise and fall of, Michael Jordan, all these athletes, Usain Bolt, and it just gets you to see that being an athlete, being a professional athlete, being somebody who's considered great, it's just a short-lived existence. And all your self-worth is put into your athletic performance, and when you can't perform anymore, people just throw you to the side. And I don't like that. I wouldn't want to be that. Another person is Muhammad Ali, all these football players, all these boxers, every single person in the athletics. And it's just such a short time. And it's just a physical expression. Nobody really cares about anything else more than that. You're not really helping people to very much. You're almost just seen as like an entertainer. You're not transforming people. And the next level would be using the mind for influence. Maybe like Albert Einstein, Socrates or Sigmund Freud, just people could value you for your intellectual contributions. And that is at least much more, it lasts much longer than just the physical. Because Albert Einstein could be making discoveries and teaching until his very death and contributing. But when it comes to the physical, the society, the people only value you for a short period of time when your body is capable of displaying these athletic performances, for that short period of time. But at least for the intellectual, essentially, you could be helping people towards knowledge and intellectual growth, for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. But a person's athletic career, they'd be lucky to even have it last 10 years. And then people just forget about them. And I think the highest level is the spirit, the meditation, the level of Jesus and Socrates, Lao Tzu, Osho, maybe even Martin Luther King Jr., where you are contributing towards the individual's inner transformation. And even after hundreds or even thousands of years, people can still value your existence and what you contributed towards and the expression of truth and the teaching of meditation. People are still following Jesus. People are still following Buddha. People are still following Lao Tzu, and people are still talking about them, learning from them. Osho. And even Bruce Lee, he had the physical, but his intelligence, his combative intelligence, and also his expression of spirituality and meditation made him transcend the limitations of just being considered an athlete. And some of these artists tap into that. Some artists don't tap into it, but they at least have more of a intellectual contribution where they might create music for a very long time, even up to their death, like Prince or Michael Jackson or John Lennon, or just whoever who creates music and art until they pass away, or people that produce and direct movies, people that write books. They contribute an intellectual contribution towards the people, and people appreciate this. They learn, they grow, and they respect these artists. But the highest level is, the spiritual, the meditativeness, and really that's what I aim for. The physical is not going to last too long. It's it's the spiritual that's everlasting, that's eternal. The intellectual lasts much longer than the physical, but it is still not the highest. The highest is the spiritual, the meditativeness. And when I look at Usain Bolt, when I look at Michael Jordan, when I look at Muhammad Ali, when I look at all these great athletes that's ever lived, I don't want to be limited by just that. I don't want to be judged and valued based on my physical alone, and that's it. I want more of a total appreciation for my expression as a human being. You know, even Bruce Lee, 40, 50 years after he's passed away, people are still talking about him. He's still popular. They're still making movies about him, and people are still making money off his name. Even the UFC's, you know, trying to make money off his name. You know, like, people are still gravitated towards his teachings because it is not just the physical. He is not just an athlete. You know, he's an artist. He's a martial artist. He was a philosopher, and essentially his teachings can lead you towards a spiritual transformation, and that's what makes his expression so powerful compared to just the average athlete. You know, it was heading towards the path of Jesus and Socrates and Osho and Buddha and Lao Tzu. And that path, the path of truth, is eternal. And that's the type of contribution that I would like to give to the people. Not just a physical display of excellence, not just athletic performance, but just assisting the people in opening their eyes and waking up, becoming awakened, becoming enlightened. You know, and that is powerful to me. And, you know, as I practice the martial arts, that's what's important to me. And those are my reflections, you know, thinking about Usain Bolt. And, you know, seeing a person achieve such great respect and recognition, and then now seeing how people talk about him, how people think about him, and just how his body just cannot keep up with all that strenuous training for all those years. He wants to relax. He wants to give up. He wants to resign. He just wants to be at peace and be happy. Enjoy his life. And while everybody else is just chasing after the gold, now it's his time to relax. And now it's more of a spiritual experience at this moment. And I choose to relax, be at peace, and take my time as I build and grow. It's a different approach. You know, you don't sprint to an early death, but you take your time, you walk, you enjoy the scenery, there's no rush. Live a long life, meet a lot of different people, learn a lot, teach a lot, and just appreciate every moment as it comes. You know, it's a different outlook, it's a different perspective. But that's the approach that I wish to take in my journey.